Yes, hello, hello. It's still morning. It's not lunch yet. It's 11:05. We are in the John Flowers Show now, and we actually like what we're hearing here. So we go overtime a little bit on WHVW, and we're having two interesting people here, and one is Rich Koenig, and the other one is John Hinson, right? I always have a problem with that name. Okay, but they are very, very enthusiastic people. They have a lot to talk about. They want to tell us what their plans are. Very important that we know about them. They will also talk about their personal life, so we get to know them. They are running for office in Gardiner, beautiful Gardiner, Ulster County. And you happen to listen. I know people from Gardiner working here in Poughkeepsie. I talked to them, and they said they will all listen and call in with questions. But I have a feeling we answered all their questions already anyway. So, John, now I give it to John because he's very good in interviewing.
Oh, look out now. Look out, you guys. I got it now. Now, tell us a little bit more about your family. I mean, I know, because when you become elected official, it affects your family, too. Sometimes you sit down with your wife, and say, honey, do you think I should do this? I mean, let us know. This is a question to both of y'all. Tell us a little bit.
Yeah, That's a question I sat down with my wife in July. I asked her that exactly. I said, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think? And obviously she's biased, but she said, I think you're the best man for the job. But we have, we've been in Gardiner for 37 years.
Wait, excuse me. I mean, 37?
Yeah, 37.
Whoa!
Well, I almost feel like I'm a newcomer because there are people who have been there for so long, working and doing things. I just like to make one comment on one family there, the Tantillo family. They have a farm stand on Route 208. Lenny Tantillo has been in the fire department. He's been the treasurer of the fire department, I think, for close to 50 years. That's
wow.
And his wife served on the planning board for well over 20 years. So these are people who were born there. They grew up there. They really have roots. We moved in when we were in our 20s. So
you got roots, trust me.
Yeah. Okay. But we have 6 children. They're all up out of the house. And
give us some names. All right, give me.
Okay,
name.
My oldest daughter is Nikki. Her and her husband live in New Paltz, but she's working down in New York City now as a lawyer. I have my son Fritz. He and his family live in San Francisco. He works for Google. My daughter Maria and her family. We actually have their 2 grandchildren with us this week, or our 2 grandchildren with us this week. Her and her husband are emergency room physicians in Pittsburgh. My son Mark, he just got back from spending a year in China. He was teaching English to obviously to Chinese people, and he's back looking for a job now. He's a mechanical engineer, so if anybody has work out there, he'd entertain it. I have son Johan. He also works for Google and lives in the Mountain View area out in Silicon Valley. And our youngest son Joe, he works for W.L. Gore in Flagstaff, Arizona. We were just visiting him a couple of weeks ago, and he's doing well today. Also, our children are.
You're very proud of them. That's what you're saying to me.
They're the most important people in my life.
Wow!
Wow, that's well said.
They're the people I can talk to. They actually listen to me, and I listen to them. So
wow,
good.
This is great. When you have a big family, you know what we are all about, right?
Yeah.
We all have families. We're all struggling. We all, kind of cut down on our food bill because the taxes are around the corner, And if someone who has a big family, you're going to do the same thing, and you know that we're all struggling, right?
Yep.
Struggling families these days, looking for jobs and not having enough to go around, right? So, which is great. You are aware of it, and I would really highly recommend you, I hope all gardener is listening, and the surrounding area, beautiful gardener. He's just a great man. I'm saying it also because he has my name. He's also Koenig. Later on, we have to ask. Maybe I belong to your family too. Who knows? Okay.
I want to thank you for that. And I wish you the best of luck. And become an elected official. You already right now what are you doing now?
Right, I'm a town board member.
So you are, right now you are.
Correct. I'm serving out my term.
So you're running again?
I'm running again, but this time for supervisor.
So you become big time?
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Okay, well,
it's funny you say that because, I've heard a lot of people talk about, hidden agendas and everything else like that. And I'm scratching my head because I'm going as town councilman. I didn't know I could, change the whole world. We're all trying to do the right thing and help people. And two comments that were made here that I did want to reflect on was Helga acknowledging how difficult things are right now and talking about a small business like the Tantillo markets. And I don't know the Tantillos that well. I've met them only once or twice. So I'm really not exactly speaking specifically to them, but to all businesses in Gardner right now. This is a very difficult time when the elections come up because everyone's vying for getting a sign on someone's property or speaking to this person or that. And for me, I empathize with them because if they put a sign on their property one way or the other, it's a declaration, and it's almost as if it's a declaration of war because people will come in and say, as long as you have that sign for so-and-so, and I don't care what party, I'm not going to come in and do business. So we have some leaders in Gardner who are on the zoning boards and on the planning board and volunteer and contribute time to the pole barns and everything that Gardner's needed over time. But they don't actively jump up and announce to the world what their political affiliation is because they will have a financial impact on their business. Mm-hmm. So I empathize with them right now because certainly they want to have a voice, they want to speak up, but they don't want to ostracize anyone and make them feel like they're not part of the Gardner community. So, one of the things I would say is if anyone sees my signs anywhere where I've had permission to put them and they feel any type of pressure to have them removed, if you contact me, I'd be more than happy to remove that. I know,
but that's not. If your sign is somewhere, it means that you have asked permission to put the sign. It's not don't necessarily mean that person has to do exactly what you want them to do.
Not at all.
But you ask. So maybe if somebody else has the same thing, maybe they put their sign. It'd be two signs in the window.
Yeah,
and that makes a difference. So you shouldn't take it against the person by having your sign.
Yeah, and Gardner's such a small, tight community, like I said, and I'm not trying. I'd rather not be called a politician. I'd rather be called maybe an advocate or a statesman.
You're a politician, John.
I'm going to deny that as long as I can.
But I do want to ask you, why do you think the people should vote for you?
Well, I think for me, I'm running the two things that I've been telling people that I want to make sure is clear is my experience budgeting and managing people. So my fiscal responsibility, that what I bring to the table, my common sense for the middle ground. I think one of the things that people talk about, if you're carrying this banner, you're carrying that banner, and I'm not denying the Republicans support me or the conservatives or independents, or I'm not denying anybody, but I'm not running around saying that I wouldn't put the best candidate on the zoning board or I wouldn't put the best candidate on the planning board because they're political. For some reason, it feels as if in Gardner that when you declare yourself as one party, which I am not affiliated with any party, I am not declared in any one party. I'm what's called an NOP.
Right.
Yeah, they feel as if as soon as you declare that you're not going to put a Republican on this board or you're not going to put a Democrat on that board. Right. So one of the things I'm going to bring is middle ground, that we can talk, have a conversation, find the best people. And you got a lot of really good people in Gardner that volunteer. I mean, we're not one of those towns that when you look at the boards, it's like, they don't have any experience or they don't have any knowledge. We have very knowledgeable people involved. I just think we need to take that demarcation away from them as to what party they were with, and let's just keep the best people involved.
Right.
I'm sorry. So you believe that you're qualified?
Absolutely.
Look out! I like that.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, because we really should not vote for party, and we should vote for the person, the people, get to know them. So important. So if you want to get to know them, show up on this Thursday from 7 to 9 and ask questions, get to know them, look at them. You know, they're kind of really very nice looking, smiling, especially Rich. He's a smiling person. Very good people.
Well,
and that's what you want to vote for.
I'm going straight home to tell my wife that I'm a good-looking person.
Yeah, remind her.
She told me I'm out of the game, so now I'm going to tell her I'm in it.
Yeah. Okay, now, same name. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, you got to say their names again.
It's the same question. Why do you think that people should vote for you, and how you qualified, and something? Maybe somebody she already had, Dr. Huggins already asked you the changes, but I want to know why should people vote for you?
When I do things, I try to be reasonable. You know, like John was saying, I grew up as an NOP, no official party. I'm not aligned with any party. Whenever I voted, it was always because you go through and you select, the people that you're interested in. And when I ran last time, I was very surprised by people that I had known for a long time who said, well, I can't vote for you because you're not on this particular line. One woman said, I'm glad you're on the independence line because we had that line last time also, because she says, I can vote for you on that line because it's not. But I try to be reasonable. Just as an example, when there's division in Gardner on open space. They passed an open space law, and they passed an open space bond, which you can use to fund purchases of open space. The open space bond has never been used. I oppose both of those. I voted against the bond, and the law itself was passed by the town board, but I went to meetings and I voiced my concern. But after the law was passed, I was the first one to sign up to be on the open space committee. I helped write the forms, the laws, the rules that we followed for the first farm that was protected. I was the chairman of the fundraising, and then another guy came on, Warren Wiegand, and we were co-chairs, but we raised $50,000 to contribute to that. I was on the fundraising committee for the Hess project that we've recently completed. So it's you can have ideology, but once the law is passed, these things were passed in a democratic manner. It wasn't like they were forced down. I didn't agree with it, but it was passed in a democratic manner.
So what you're saying is that even if you don't agree with something, once it's passed, you got to live with it and deal with it and try to support it.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things I really like, and I was drawn to Rich when we had conversations, was the fact that Rich and I don't agree on everything. We don't. But the core philosophy of what we think is best for Gardner and democracy in Gardner brought us to that point where we said People for Gardner was a way for us, or P for G, to speak to people in a forum where it was open for them to say, you know what, Rich, I don't agree with you, and Rich can say, I understand. And Rich does that. When just listening to Rich is as nice as he sounds.
Yes.
When he says it, he follows up on it. And even this morning, I was able to bear witness to a letter that was sent in from a woman in town on a party that he's not supported by, sending in her encouragement and support for him because of time that he's volunteered away from the town to assist in a problem that was presented by the town.
Right, and you know what is
we got one more minute left.
Yeah, I want to say very important is when I call Rich Koenig, he always answers. I know other people that I call and want to ask who are also running in the party. not a party, I should say, there's no answer. I call them up, they don't answer. And they barely return your phone call too. So if you have a problem, anything, and you want to get in touch with your councilman or your, supervisor or your town, councilman. So, and if he doesn't answer and you leave a message and he doesn't call you back, you get frustrated, right? Because what you're saying is, hey, I'm not interested in you, person here, you're just anyone else who was calling and we're going to ignore you. We don't want to be ignored. So with Rich, I saw that I called him a few times in the past, right now too, and he always answers, and that's so important. If you have a problem coming up, something, a question, and you call him, he is always saying, Rich here, and you feel good, you feel good. That's so important. You got to be able to get a hold of the person that is responsible for running Gardner.
Yeah, and in Gardner, it's great news that Rich does that, and Carmine Mealy, who's on the town board right now, has set the bar that high too, and then does fantastic with communication. And Carmine Mealy's running for judge coming up here at the next election. And
well, maybe you can get him on here too, Well, we want to thank both of you for joining us today. It's been a great interview. And Dr. Helga, which is our famous interview now, she got another hat on her head now,
Yeah, right.
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Your names one more time.
Rich Koenig.
And what are you running for?
I'm running for supervisor in the town of Gardner.
And John Hinson, I'm running for town councilman in the town of Gardner.
And thank you folks very much for having us on. It's been
thank you
the
too.
first time I've ever been on the radio.
We're glad to have you. So thank you so much. We're going to go on a little bit more Dion, right? And then your last words, Doctor?
Yeah, okay. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I slept... I didn't sleep well last night thinking, what am I going to say? But it went smooth, very smooth because they're easy. Both of them are very easy to, you can see they have their head on right and they are not, obnoxious and who am I? They're very, they're people person and I like that and I felt very good about it. I said to John, I don't know what I want to say. Talk to politicians.
I think
right?
you did a great job.
But because hey, I grew up with a mayor. My father was a mayor, so it comes back right away. So anyway, it was so wonderful having you here, and we wish you really the best success. And.
Thank you very much. And People for Gardner's not going away. This isn't one election and out. The message that we have for people is going to be around for a while.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you both very much. We're going to go. How about just go back with a little Dion? How's that?